Hello everyone, live from Jean Bodel Bocassa University. It's Pokemon Stadium 2. Pokemon's for fucking babies. Anyway, so look at all those characters. You can play as every single one of them. And how fitting that they would start the game off by telling you to put in the Game Boy adapter, because this game was completely built around that. If you try playing this and you don't have the Game Boy adapter, well then you're basically a second-class citizen. Look at all of this, and I'd say about maybe half of these things are inaccessible if you don't have the Game Boy thing. Here, let me just click on a randomly selected one here just to prove a point. See? Get out! But there are a few things we can do. It's not like Pokemon Battle Revolution, where if you don't have the accompanying game, you're basically just completely and totally fucked. They do have some things you can do in the base game. This section lets you pick the background of your stadium, by the way. Some of them you have to unlock, though. Okay, so now we get to the part where we get to pick out our team. And this must have been one hell of an effort for the developers, because they made models for all 200 plus Pokemon at the time, and they managed to cram them into the humble N64. Nintendo used to care so much. When's the last time they ever tried to do something so grandiose? Every single Pokemon available for you, the sweaty player. I'll concede that my selections here do look a bit random, but there is thought that's going into them. I'm trying to get type variety, as it were, because that is what one does in Pokemon. It almost sounds like some kind of dumpy metaphor for diversity, and you have to include everybody if you want to succeed, all colors and sizes and creeds. Okay, and also we gotta pick the enemy's team. I could do the cheap thing and just set the opposite types to what I just picked, but I won't do that. Okay, and we're ready. The presentation in this spot's really good. They wanted you to make sure that you took your Pokemon battles 100% seriously. It's given me a flashback to when I first played this game at one of those in-store displays at like Target or perhaps Walmart or something. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? God help us all, that was probably 20 years ago by now. I've got the announcer turned off, by the way, 'cause that's my job. So I set the CPU difficulty at the start to hard for the sake of having a watchable video. I'd imagine this would be quite boring if I just completely swept everybody's health bars with one guy. You wouldn't get to see all the colorful characters I picked out. Okay, first turn. I guess giving every Pokemon in the game a digging animation would have been too hard, so they just kinda cheaped out on that. Understandable. Anyway, you can't have a Pokemon Stadium without fans, so what we gotta do is we gotta pull a Space Jam 2 and summon some fans to watch our Let's Play. Let me do that real quick. Yeah, there we go. Yep, we got the top 3 Pokemon fans in the house. This was a deliberate choice and not just a random sampling of pictures I had in the images folder in my computer. So, since Dig didn't do a whole lot, we'll just go with the tried and true. Easy peasy. I like how they have a star pattern for the flames there. I feel like they really could have half-assed that. Like if this was some kind of Ubisoft game, they could just copy and paste in like a Google image of a flame, and who cares? The dumbass fans are not going to know. I don't think I've played a Ubisoft game in probably 10 years. But anyway, this guy we're fighting right now, his big lore Pokédex entry, whatever you want to call it, is that he can see into the future, you see. See into the future. Well, I think the question on everybody's mind is, why didn't this guy warn everybody about 9/11, That's very selfish of him. So I'm thinking the inspiration for the character was maybe like a totem pole or something. It's more apparent when he opens up his wings. Looks like something you'd see in a textbook entry about the ancient Aztecs. They'd have a totem pole that kind of looks like that. So anywho, here's a fun story about growing up with this game and how I learned to be a bit more cautious about where you locate your gaming setups. So, I was about 10 years old, playing this very game you see, and it was in the living room with my parents and such. Normally I would play games in the basement, but I was trying to do an experiment and play it in the living room. Anyway, and so in my match of Pokemon Stadium 2, I was playing as this one particular Pokemon that's like a cow that stands up on two legs, right? A cow that stands up on two legs, and my mom saw it, and she must have thought that I was looking at something pornographic, because I guess she saw like the udders and didn't know what they were. She said, "What is that? What are you doing? Are you looking at something filthy?" And I tried explaining that this is Pokemon and I'm 10 years old, but I don't think it really sunk in. And that was probably the last time that I ever played any kind of game in the living room instead of the basement. Okay, I kind of screwed up here. I thought Haze was an offensive move. An offensive ice-type move that would take out Ladybug quickly. And I was wrong. All you hardcore 300-pound Pokemon experts, you probably shut off the video by now. But I will redeem myself, I tell you. Anyway, so this Pokemon that we currently are, the fun fact, they added an evolution to him later on where he looks like a pimp. Let me pull up a picture of that. Yeah, look at that crazy guy. How did they ever sneak that into a game that was meant for wee little babes? Okay, so he's only got one Pokemon left now versus me, who's got 3. So we're in good shape. Although, as anybody who's ever played this game before can tell you, the combat system in Pokemon doesn't make a whole lot of allowances for skill. So from an AI perspective, how do you differentiate easy, normal, and hard? And the answer to that question is, you have to start pulling dirty tricks whenever there's a move that has probability in it. They will just pull the absolute, just worst shit, you know. As AVGN says, what a shitload of fuck. And I did not know this when I was picking out the teams, but a Persian does have a move that involves probability. There's, I believe, a 1 in 10 chance that the other player will flinch when they get hit with headbutt. So, understandably, the AI is probably going to abuse that a few times. So the AI strategy at this point is quite clear, just make me flinch so many times that I can't move. But the real question is, am I far enough ahead that all those flinches won't matter? Can I outrun the cheating AI, so to speak? I mean, I'd say the odds are still kind of in our favor. The other player's poisoned. So even if we don't move, we're still doing damage, right? I've seen stream highlights where professional Pokemon people, as weird as that sounds, they'll get all the way to the final stage of the big gym challenge and everything looks like it's gonna wrap up, and then the AI basically says, "No, no, no." Just like that big basketball man in that commercial. As Hans Moleman once famously said, down I go. Poor old Hans Moleman. Nobody knows what you're talking about. Okay, so here's our last and best hope. The hardest Pokemon to catch at the Safari Zone. We've got a variety of moves we can pull here. Sing is out of the question since Persian is already poisoned. We can't stack status ailments. So I think Egg Bomb would be our best choice. Okay, time is on our side. Even though we still haven't been able to do a single move. What do you think's gonna happen this time? It's not supposed to do that much damage, Jesus Christ. And is it gonna yep, it flinched again. Oh, did you see that little text pop up just there? The AI knows that it just won. There are some battles you just can't win. As Bender on Futurama said that one time. And there you have it, folks. By all means, we should have won that match, but you know how hard mode AI is. There's lots of dirty tricks it can pull. Oh, look at this. Just utterly shameful. What's he gonna say? You can get lessons on battle techniques. I think your grandma can get lessons on how to suck a dick.